Hello. It has been 3 states since Colorado, but we'll get to that in a bit. I've wanted to talk about this for a while because it keeps happening. I have this conversation on average about 1.5 times a day. It's always some variation of, where are you coming from? I started in Portland, Oregon. Where are you going? The East Coast. A bit late, ain't it?
It's so cold.
No. You know it's gonna get cold, don't you? I would have started a lot earlier if I were you. Ah! Oh. Okay. One guy even ended it with, good thing you're not going to New York. You'd have to deal with them Iranian cab drivers. Cool. Toss in a little racism for good measure. And what do you expect my response to be? Oh, gee whiz, sir. I hadn't thought about any of that. I'll just turn my bike around and go home. What is infuriating about these conversations is that people who know nothing about me want to criticize what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And it's not like I'm unwilling to listen to advice. I love hearing tips and tricks along the way, but it's the way that some people approach it that makes me not care. Maybe it's because I'm relatively young, or because I'm doing something that most people think is ridiculous. But lots of people are more than happy to tell me that I'm doing it wrong, and they seem so satisfied with themselves after. It always makes me think that no one will listen to these people or care what they have to say. So they impose their opinions on strangers. Or they're just jerks. Either way, making mistakes and messing things up is part of the experience for me. I could have spent 2 years planning this trip and had somebody tell me exactly what to do, scheduled every stop, picked the absolute perfect time, and it would have been boring. There's no exploration in that. Failing is part of the fun. So strangers of the world, let me screw up. Okay, on to the good stuff. I didn't really film anything on the road through Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois, because I've been on exactly 2 roads, and they don't really make for interesting video. Also, I didn't know anybody in these states, until Evan. Evan stopped me on the side of the road where the wind was so strong that I couldn't get any decent audio. He had just finished a tour of France and the UK, and was really enthusiastic about helping me find places to stay. The next thing I know, I'm arriving at his Aunt Kay's place in Grand Island, where her 6 dogs, and her neighbors Pam and Kenny took care of me. They were awesome, and excellent hosts. The following night, Evan's friend Devin somehow convinced her parents to let some strange kid on a bicycle stay at their place for the night in Lincoln. I had dinner with Devin and the Schultes, discussed the history of Nebraska, and then we pulled out a map and planned my next day into Iowa. I am truly grateful for everything that Evan did, as well as all of the people that went out of their way to welcome me into their homes. You guys are great. I just hope that someday I can do the same thing for someone else. That's all, guys. See you in Chicago.
It's not actually that cold. I was just sick of these face tan lines.